We live in a world that's just screaming at us to go faster, decide quicker, and react instantly. But what if I told you the real secret to making smarter choices isn't about speed at all? What if it's about slowing down? Today, we're diving into a simple but seriously powerful idea, the power of the pause. All right, let's just kick things off with an idea that honestly feels kind of backward. We're all taught that fast is smart, right? Quick answers, quick decisions. But this quote flips that completely on its head. The ability to just stop, to resist that first impulse. That's where the real genius is. It's a total game changer. Okay, so that begs the question, right? If jumping the gun isn't the smartest play, why is it our default setting? Why do we feel this constant pressure to have an answer right now? Well, it's because our brains are literally wired for it, and that wiring can lead us straight into a trap. And that, my friends, leads us straight into what we can call the fast thinking trap. And this isn't just, a bad habit. It's a cognitive pattern that can keep us stuck, making the same dumb mistakes over and over. So let's break down what's really happening in our heads. So what even is fast thinking? Basically, it's when we act on pure impulse. It's a shortcut your brain loves to take, completely bypassing all the logical, rational parts. Instead of actually thinking, you're just reacting. It's like letting that feel-good hit of dopamine grab the steering wheel and drive you right off a cliff, just because it felt exciting for a second. And look, this habit, it's not harmless. It actually creates this dangerous downward spiral. When you bypass logic, you're going to make poor decisions. But here's the kicker. Because you never stop to think about why it was a bad call, you're basically guaranteed to make the same mistake again. It's a vicious cycle that can literally make you worse at solving problems over time. But okay, here's the good news. There is a super simple but really powerful way to break out of that cycle. You don't need a new brain. You just need to learn how to use the one you've got a little more strategically. And that's where we get to the power of the pause. This chart right here just nails the two systems we're juggling. Over on the left, you've got that impulsive, dopamine-fueled reaction. Psychologists call it System 1. That's your autopilot. But the pause is like a switch. It lets you deliberately fire up System 2 on the right, the logical, strategic part of your brain that actually solves complex problems instead of just reacting to all the noise. And listen, this isn't just some theory from a textbook. It's a proven practice. In Japan, for instance, there's this cultural habit of quietly observing before taking action. And that's not about being hesitant. It's about building a muscle called cognitive restraint, which is just a fancy way of saying the ability to think before you act. It's a skill you can train. All right, so we get it. The problem is fast thinking. The solution is the pause. But how in the world do you actually do this when your day is nuts? Well, it's actually shockingly simple. It all comes down to a 3-second upgrade. Yup, that's it. 3 seconds. That is the magic number. It might not feel like a lot of time, but to your brain, it's an eternity. In just 3 seconds, you give your brain just enough time to hit the brakes on that initial dopamine-fueled impulse, and it lets your slower, more logical brain catch up and take over. So here's the playbook. It's a simple 3-step move. First, just notice the feeling, that urgent pull to react right now. Acknowledge it. Second, force yourself to just pause. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. And third, you will literally feel the shift as your logical brain kicks in. You just gave it a chance to get in the game. When you boil it all down, this super simple technique gives you a choice, a really powerful one that you face dozens, maybe hundreds of times a day. It's the choice between just reacting and actually strategizing. And those are two totally different ways to live your life. I mean, just look at the two paths here. The reactive person on the left, they're basically stuck on a hamster wheel of impulse, making the same mistakes over and over. But the strategic person on the right uses that pause to think, to learn, and to get better. They stop just following the crowd and start navigating with their own awareness. It's the difference between being a passenger and being the driver of your own life. So I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you feel that urge to send that snappy text, to make a snap judgment, or to give in to that craving, that impulse is coming. It's probably right around the corner. The only question is, what are you going to do with your 3 seconds?